Aries, a very warm welcome. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, welcome back. And so, Aries, this is all about October 2025. And I hope your boundaries are in place, Aries. I hope you're turning down options that don't sit in line with your morals and values. That was what this year has been about for you. You know, sorting out the wheat from the chaff, they say. Because we know that, when we invite people, places, and situations into our lives, sometimes it's hard to get rid of them, all right, or at least clean up the damage that they've done. So, Aries, let's have a look. What's going to be happening around you, for you, your energetic field, possible outcomes, what to watch out for, and hopefully some good news. Some of you might have major decisions to make. Two of Wands wanted to show itself, all right? Underlying current of this reading, I think it's a good tower moment, Aries. This is about anything that hasn't been solid, nothing on a solid foundation will crumble. People will leave your life, and it's not because you've done anything wrong, it's because you're growing. And tower moments, we can't avoid them. We can do our best to, but the soul never lies, and the soul will have its way. And so, you would try to hold yourself back from being a bitch or a bastard to people, But when they overstep your boundaries, then you're forced to. And that's the soul, fighting against unfair treatment, disingenuous behavior, these kind of things, all right? So that's the undercurrent of October, right? Getting ready for 2026, where, what stays, what goes, okay? So it's good, Aries. Center of this reading. Look at this. I love this for you guys. This is being independent. This is having your ducks in a row. This is being self-regulatory, Aries, managing your own emotions. Nobody can change my state. I am the Nine of Pentacles, happy to go it alone. However, I'm independent, looking for an interdependent relationship. I don't want to caretake. I don't want to be taken advantage of or taken for granted, especially my love, my care, my attention. Nine of Pentacles as the center of this reading. A lot of you guys might be single right now, and you're living your best lives, Aries, in the Nine of Pentacles. And I think your previous readings, I was a bit late putting them out there because of a house move and these kind of things. But where was I going to go with that train of thought, guys? God, it's gone. It was about you guys, taking on new projects, always wanting to do certain things like study certain subjects and these kind of things, taking trips. You guys were doing it, which is great. Nine of Pentacles, center of the reading, Aries. The challenge. We've got Four of Swords in reverse. Right, so how I would see this, right, if you're in that element of, the Nine of Pentacles, I've got my shit together, I'm fine, thank you, very much on my own, unless you're bringing something of worth to my table. Now, this could be work, love, life, right? The challenge is, you don't really want to cut people out and cut people off, Aries, but, when they don't sit in line with who you are anymore, the new Aries, it's kind of like, I have to. I don't enjoy doing it. I don't want to do it. But, I'm leaving certain tribes to explore because I'm being numbed and my light is being dimmed by surrounding myself with certain people that aren't going forward in life, So it's a challenge for you. And the reason why it's all happening, Aries, this so far is a brilliant reading for you. I love it, all right? You're coming out of your head. You're not overthinking anything. You're not, let's say you're texting people. You're not filtering your words. It's coming from the soul. It's like, hey, tell it like it is. I mean what I say and I mean what I do. So coming out of your head, overthinking anything, it really is show, don't tell, like in stories, create the picture for people rather than telling them. And so you're not about over analyzing situations that don't sit in line with the Nine of Pentacles, Aries. Independence, right? Recent past, we've got death in reverse. Maybe situations, people, places, things, workplace scenarios, all this kind of thing. They weren't transforming, Aries, which led you to go, you know what, nobody else is going to do it for me. I'm going to do it myself. And a lot of you, as I say, you've taken those trips. I'm not waiting around for anyone to take myself on a beautiful adventure. take myself out to dinner, take myself to the cinema, wherever, whatever it might be, right? Something very simple. I'm not waiting around. And when you're in the Nine of Pentacles and you're taking yourself out to dinner, Aries, you're your own best friend, you're super attractive that way. And now, you're not waiting for anyone to fill your cup. It's already full. So show me what you got. Come to the table, correct? I'll give you some time. I will cut you off. I don't enjoy cutting people out or ghosting or these kind of things, but I'm all wise, all knowing now. Okay, your focus is your emotions, Aries. Okay, the Queen of Cups is a beautiful energy. All right, water energy right there. Some of you, your mother might be quite important throughout October, but your focus is, getting balanced emotionally. It's a focus of yours. And so how we do that, Aries, is, becoming our own best friend. Some of us might be journaling, putting it all out on paper, releasing, negative thoughts, overthinking things that have been bugging you, old triggers, traumas, these kind of things. Journaling, and letting it go. So once we release it from the mind, now we've got new neural pathways opening up to new experiences, new creative thoughts, new ways of thinking about ourselves, new way of viewing situations, which you don't see coming towards you. We've got Temperance in reverse, okay? Now, this is a lack of balance, okay? The Temperance in reverse. I'm going to clarify, so stick around in this reading, okay? You don't see this coming. Your energetic your energetic field is a high priestess, all seeing, all knowing. I can't make this up, can I? I'm just talking about it there. 1 foot in the wisdom well, holding back, letting people reveal themselves, Aries. People might see you as quite mysterious, sorry. But the high priestess, it's a beautiful energy to have. It really is. She's not loud. The high priestess, she watches. She's an observer, and she's not the loudest person in the room. When she speaks of quality. When she doesn't understand a subject, she'll speak up and say, "Hey, look, I can't comment on that. I don't know enough about it." So, it's like it's non-egoic. The high priestess. She's watching. She's observing, but not in this hoity-toity way. Because it's a deep knowing that, I need to be careful now. I've worked so hard to get to the Nine of Pentacles. I need to watch what's coming my way. So it's like, all along the watchtower. There's a song for you, Aries, by Jimi Hendrix, all right? So, outside influences, we got the Eight of Pentacles, okay? Some of you, work might be very important, projects, plans, these kind of things. Some of you might be going into self-employment and it's a focus of yours, something that might be very creative with the Queen of Cups there, all right? She's all about creation, nurturing projects, these kind of things. In your fears, okay, look, we got the King of Pentacles in reverse. For some of you, you might be worried about money, all right? Just watch those thoughts around money, Aries. It's an energy, all right? It flows in and it flows out. Be careful what we're manifesting, okay? But, a fear of yours is King of Pentacles in reverse. If we're talking about love there, it's a fear of yours that, am I going to find that committed, partner, that ride or die, that someone that's got my back, that not only is a provider, it's also, a visionary, someone that's just going to talk the talk and walk the walk, and it's a fear of yours, King of Pentacles, he's in the upright, it's the most committed guy in tarot. Not the most exciting, okay, Aries, but he's safe, he's grounded in the upright. In reverse, it's a fear of yours that, am I going to keep attracting these non-committal people, if it's about love, all right? And then we got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, all right, as an outcome for you. So imagine your fears, King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, you're not going to be nurturing anything, Aries, which doesn't make you feel balanced, okay? Certainly your emotions, okay? This can be work, love, life. Remember, it's not always about love, tarot. But, you're not going to be nurturing, pouring in resources, these kind of things into anything that takes away from your newfound independence. And I don't mean that in that you're not open to love and relationships, these kind of things, Aries. You know, it's just it's been a long trip to get there, to be self-regulatory, to realize that I am not placing my emotional state or my life in the hands of somebody else, especially if I've experienced these kind of people, you know? So let's clarify, all right, and see what this is all about. And then, but it's an interesting reading. They're a great set of cards, actually. I like this for you. Let's have a look. So why is the Nine of Pentacles here as the center of your reading for October 2025, Aries? But it's a great card to have, okay? Let's have a look. Why is that here? Some of you, there is a fear that, I'm tired of doing it all by myself. I know I need to for self-preservation, but, I'd like to open up and really be out there. But I suppose really, you're much more discerning now, Aries, you've been burnt, some of you guys. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here? Yeah, look, for some of you, Nine of Pentacles, all right? Some of you guys are really becoming independent from a relationship, just for some of you, select few. It's not a personal reading, guys, remember. But, the center of the reading is, being self-regulatory, Nine of Pentacles, Four of Wands in reverse. So it's a relationship card, okay? The Four of Wands, it can be. But it talks about stability. It can talk about the home. And it really is like, some of you are getting out of the home a lot more, in an independent state, taking yourselves out to dinner and doing things, courses, traveling, all these kind of things, all right? Whatever's been on your mind and you've been putting off because you put other people first, Aries, and you realize, you know what, I've lost out on all accounts here, all right? So that's the center of the reading. Challenge four of swords, Yeah, look, it's a challenge of yours, guys, where I don't want to cut people off. It makes me feel anxious when I'm surrounded by certain people, places, and things. It's still a challenge for me. And of course it is. When we start setting boundaries, we don't want to have to set rigid boundaries, Aries, do we? But we have to in self-preservation. And it can cause us anxiety, like people wanting to take us out of our state. They bring out the worst in us, but it's basically just our reaction to their behavior towards us. If they're non-committal already in situations and they're coming towards you, of course you've got to set boundaries and go, hey, look, what's in it for me? And the reason why it's all happening, you're coming out of your head. Some of you, all right, you are single after a relationship ended and you're coming out of your head about, this was possibly a Two of Cups energy here. Some of you are, realizing that in order to attract this kind of energy into my life, I need to be interdependent. I'm not kidding myself about, soulmates, twin flames, however you want to frame these kind of things, all right? Very often twin flames, it's almost highly toxic, It's a spiritual way of covering up childhood traumas and all these kind of things, all right? So you're getting very clear about it, coming out of your head, not thinking too much about it, managing your emotions, being single and independent. And this is how we attract healthy partners, guys, right? Remember, recent past, nothing was transforming. So a lot of you had to go no contact, okay? Some of you might be worried about bumping into someone that you might have had to cut off, and it gives you a bit of anxiety should they show up, just for a select few, guys, all right? Yeah, your focus is, you know what? Your focus is, I'm looking for something emotionally reciprocal, okay? And, if we take it back to you in the Nine of Pentacles throughout October, Aries, this is about, I'm focused on my emotions, becoming emotionally stable, and it's the fairest thing I can do to myself. It's equal give and take, Six of Pentacles, okay? It's like I'm not putting myself or damaging my sense of well-being by giving too much. It's all about reciprocity. And it's not about giving to the other person, Aries. It's about filling your own cup first, right? And then when our own cup is full, we have more to give. But if we're placing everything into the hands of somebody else, they're too busy making themselves happy. They can't fill your cup. You've got to fill your cup yourself, all right? And that's how we find interdependent relationships. What you don't see coming is temperance in reverse, king of pen. Okay, just watch out, all right? Some of you have dealt with someone that's non-committal, okay? And then this person might be a bit out of whack, Aries. I'm just saying, all right? You don't see it coming, okay? But it might throw you out of balance, okay? Stay in the high priestess, don't remember, it's all about, talking the talk and walking the walk. This is what you're looking for. Signs, shows of, where is this going? Not words, words are empty, right? They can be. Outside influences, we've got some of you might be really working hard on, you know, old behaviors, putting in the groundwork as to, things that have brought you down. And that can be, self-fulfilling prophecies, right? That can be, our childhood traumas and all these kind of things playing out, that we're attracting certain, devilish situations into our life. Some of you are putting the work in. Some of you guys, all right, you might have a bit of a dodgy boss, I'm just saying, and the workplace could be a little bit toxic throughout the month of October, and it's up to you, Aries, to realize that's not about you, okay? But it might be a boss, okay? Might have fire and earth in their chart, this person. Okay, fear of yours. We got the King of Pentacles in reverse, remember, non-committal. And then we've got the Empress. Some of you fear your attraction style, that you're still attracted to certain kind of people that are non-committal and they feel like the one, just for a select few, okay? Others of you, it's a fear of yours. Will I have enough money for this newfound sense of freedom, this newfound sense of, we need to afford our lives, Aries. So somebody might feel that, do I have enough money to support this, to go off and do this trip, do this course or whatever, all right? Okay. The outcome is, we've got Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is not over-nurturing situations that don't merit your time, care, and attention. Work, love, life. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. And being confident about it, Aries. With the Queen of Wands there. Fire sign, all right? So it's an interesting outcome for you where you're confident in moving forward, taking action, and not being stuck nurturing situations that take you out of balance. All right. It's a card of balance, the Six of Pentacles there with the Queen of Cups. So it does still bring you a bit of anxiety to set boundaries and to push people away and say, no, thank you. Keep it moving, dude, do that or whatever. But, you're doing it in confidence. Okay. So it's almost like, your boundaries are becoming second nature now, as opposed to when we first start setting boundaries, because we have to out of self-preservation, they can come across as pretty harsh, right? And then we temper them down the more we do them, and we're not so aggressive about them because they become second nature. It's no longer a new way of thinking. It becomes our nature, all right? And that's where you're going in October, which is great. So let's have a look. I just want to check out this Temperance in reverse and King of Pentacles in reverse, all right? Which you don't see coming towards you. Tell me more about that. Let's have a look. Otherwise, great reading, guys. All right. It's all about, becoming more attractive, certainly. Queen of Wands. All right. Balanced your emotions, looking for reciprocity because you deserve it, Aries. Nine of Pentacles. You don't need validation, Look into the outside world to fill your cup. You're doing it all by yourself, which is great. Why is that here? Okay, all right. So there are too many people involved in this. Okay, what you don't see coming towards you, Aries, there's an imbalance. Okay, something to do with somebody might be non-committal. All right, they might be committed and still out there. These kind of things. This person is unhinged a little bit, to be honest. They don't know what commitment is all about. All right. and there's too many people involved in this, whatever this might mean for you. Once you've broken my trust, I can never go back. All right. So I'm just wondering whether you are no longer nurturing a situation. For some of you, if it's about love, you've left something behind. It brings you anxiety to be that this person might show up again. But you're doing it in confidence now, okay? Because you see the writing on the wall for some of you. Um, what was I going to do? I didn't clarify the high priestess, did I? I want to do that for you. Why is the high priestess there as your energy? Okay, Aries. Why is that here for Aries? Look at this. Look, all right. So your energetic field is the high priestess. Now, if I look at these two cards, it's almost like the masculine and feminine. So the King of Wands, for my female viewers here, this is your energetic field. You are, leading the way, Nine of Pentacles, doing things for yourself, not waiting around like a damsel in distress. You're getting out there, your masculine side, but your feminine side is all seeing, all knowing. So you've got your feminine, which is the high priestess, your intuition, okay? Deep female energy there, backing you up, protecting you as you move forward into new plans, projects, trips away, new courses, in life in general, okay? In work, certainly, watching around you, one foot in the wisdom well, counting on your masculine side to take you forward there. It's great. So I just want to have a look at that again. Just watch out for that. It's someone that's non-committal, okay? And you don't see it coming. They might bring you out of balance, this person, okay? So, stay in your Nine of Pentacles, that Queen of Wands, with the King of Wands there. Push, pull, rinse, repeat, okay? Is this the same person, Aries, for some of you guys that you've got no contact because nothing was changing and they keep showing up, keep popping into your life? And it's the same, push, player uncommitted, all right? You don't see this coming. For some of you, somebody might be making a show. I mean, it could be somebody new, right? But I think it might be someone that Aries. If it is about love, all right, for you guys out there in October, let's have a few messages around love for you. And then we're going to go into, what you need to consider, and work on. Let's have a look. If it is about love, unrequited love, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And, your attraction styles are changing, Aries. It's these bad boys and all these kind of things, full of confidence. You've started to realize it's feigned confidence. It's coming from a place of insecurity where they're validating themselves by being player-like and all these kind of things. It's feigned confidence, right? And so maybe, the chemistry you once felt with someone, it's become a bit ugly. You don't see it as attractive anymore. So your attraction style is changing, all right? And express your love in reverse. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture, Aries. So it really is that, you're not being romantic to people that haven't transformed, haven't done the self-work. They're still men children or women children. You're all about reciprocity because your emotions are balanced now. You've done the work, Aries. You are self-regulatory, Nine of Pentacles energy throughout October. Loving this for you guys. All right, don't mess with Aries. Something to consider, all right, throughout October that might be quite important in your continued healing and attracting, great things into your life, all right? Look, the color purple always shows for you, and it's come out in a few readings, all right? So much purple. Yeah, but someone with earth and fire in their chart somewhere, maybe, guys, all right? Just rely on your high priestess there, okay, with this person. Let's have a look. Aries, action, movement, okay? Nine of Pentacles energy there, keeping it moving. There's a dancer in this card. Somebody, you just get out there and start dancing, whatever you want to do, tango, gazumba, whatever it's called. All right. Movement, perseverance, discipline, motivation, okay? And there's a lot of red in this, all right? So you're going to be very grounded in new situations that you're taking on. Always wanted to do that class in something, always wanted to take that trip. All right, you're very grounded with your Nine of Pentacles there. You've got your King of Wands to back up your feminine, who is all seeing, all knowing. So you're still taking action. It's both action cards, King of Wands, and then we got action here. So it's kind of like you're guided and protected, Aries. And it's grace to the hard inner work that you've been doing. Inner child, playfulness, lightheartedness, innocence, and wonder. This is, look at the color yellow there, solar plexus. This is about my newfound sense of self, love, well-being, solar plexus energy, sense of self, who I am. I can now go out into the world with innocence again because I've got one foot in the wisdom world now. I've made mistakes. I'm looking out, I'm watching, I'm looking for reciprocity. These kind of characters might show up in my life. Push, pull, rinse, repeat, players uncommitted. But you know what? I'm going to be playful. I'm going to pay attention to my dreams, messages, signs, and symbols, all right? They're going to be everywhere throughout October. Look out for them, Aries, Somebody tells you about a book, and you've heard it 3 times from 3 different people. Buy the book. You're supposed to read it. Signs and symbols, right? You're guided and protected throughout October, Aries. It's a great reading. If you're a song, all right, lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something. As always, if it's not your genre, give it a miss. Give it one listen to and dump it. One song for you, okay? For Aries, October. Freebird, Lynyrd Skynyrd. Look, I can't make this shit up on Modern Tarot, can I? Where was that card that I just had here? Look at this, right? A lot of you might have done some inner work here with the inner child, unbeknownst to yourself that you've been doing deep inner work there with the inner child. It can take many forms, right? And then Freebird, a new sense of freedom, looking for reciprocity. My emotions are balanced. I'm taking action. I'm not nurturing situations that just don't sit in line or take me out of balance. Non-committal people already in situations here that I once used to find attractive. I realize they're just push-pull players. They're uncommitted. They would just break my trust. There's too many people involved. What's in it for me? I'm 9 of Pentacles. I'm keeping it moving. I'm taking action. An amazing reading for you guys. And you know what? It's thoroughly deserved for, my Aries viewers out there. It's been a long time coming. You've really had to, go into... some of you hermit mode and go, I need to change up here. I need to switch things up. I can't continue like this. My attraction styles. What am I attracting into my life? But now you've got the secret, Aries, and it's time to move forward playfully because you're backed up with solid boundaries now, all right? Positive message to love you and leave you with. But I love this reading for you guys. Aries. Actually, look, they've just flown out, and I'm going to take the top card for you. It's a sign and symbol, right? Forgive, Aries. Whether in person or in your mind, forgive and move forward. The only person you are hurting by holding on to resentment is yourself. So some of you, all part of that, that freedom, that free bird. Once we forgive someone, and we don't have to forget, right? But we can forgive, and we don't need to speak to that person, I accept the apology I may never receive. I forgive you. And you are forgiven. Now you're free, Aries, free bird. And that is who you are in October 2025. And congratulations on all the hard work you've done. My name's Drew. I hope you enjoyed this. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, Aries, have an amazing October. I'll see you back here maybe mid-month. Take care. Bye.